Hello right bags, it's Jade Plays Games. Welcome to my top 5 most anticipated AAA games I'm looking forward to play. I've done a few videos like this recently, showing you guys the best survival games, showing you games that you've never heard of, showing you small independent games that I'm looking forward to play in the next 6 to 8 months. But of course, I am a big game gamer as well. There are huge games that I enjoy and franchises. It's just because my channel covers most of the early access doesn't mean that I don't play some of these big games. And I'm definitely looking forward to this one, SpiderMan. So I'm going to talk about SpiderMan. I'm going to show you my 5 ranked in order of what I'm most looking forward to play. Probably won't see some of these on my channel, if at all. Might see on a live stream while I'm on Twitch, or possibly maybe some guides. But pure gameplay wise, making through like stories and let's plays, people just don't watch my let's plays for this kind of stuff yet. There's too much competition with the big guys. So I'm still happy with that because it means I can actually play the game. Normally I have to rush through a game. I don't have a chance to go and explore all the open world things and do side quests because I'm trying to show you guys something, or I'm trying to do some guides. So I'm gonna not bother doing any let's plays of these videos unless you guys really think it'd be a good idea, or maybe I get lucky with one of them being popular. But I definitely will be covering, like I said, in some form with some guides, and I'll definitely be live streaming them. SpiderMan is number 5 for me, of course. Now, this came late to the party. I wasn't that hyped for SpiderMan. It was only the last recent round of interviews and gameplay footage I'd seen that really made me think, yeah, this is going to be pretty cool. I pretty much enjoyed Homecoming, and obviously in Infinity War he was amazing. So any extra dose of Spider-Man, I'm all for it. It's interesting, this game really layers the bad guys. It really is taking a look at the comic book style world rather than focusing too much on reality, or it's not a gritty. It seems to have like every single comic book hero villain from the Spider-Man universe in this game. It's crazy. I was a bit worried that might be a bit too much going on, like with too many supervillains and too much stuff happening, but I've been reliably told, and I've been looking into it, that they all serve their place and it all fits in quite nicely. In this clip here, we're escaping some Supermax prison, or we're trying to actually stop the inmates escaping from the Supermax prison. It looks pretty cool. Obviously it's only on the Sony platform, no Xbox or PC. RIP! Sony own them rights to Spider-Man obviously still, and so they've made this only for the PlayStation. It's made by Insomniac Games as well. It's really looking decent. I can't wait to try this out. Now a lot of this looks a bit CGI'd and a bit too much rendered, but you can see there the gameplay in between it was pretty cool, and the bad guys generally look like the bad guys you come to expect from either reading the comics or maybe watching it on other series, TV series and stuff like that. The last few Spider-Man games, yeah, they were okay. On the Xbox 360 I think was the last time we generally had like a really decent one, or was the last one that was made, and there was a few of them there. Shattered Dimensions weren't too bad. It mixed it up a little bit with different types of Spider-Man universes, and there was a few other ones that were okay. I remember my son enjoying them quite a lot, but I never really got into them that much. So I'm looking forward to this one. I like the combat system. Combat system does look like it is borrowing from Batman and the Arkham City games, but I think it's going to be a little bit more simplistic. I don't think you're necessarily going to be mashing buttons and getting all sorts of different combos all the time, worried about getting a 50-60 hit combo multiplier. I think it's just going to serve the purpose for getting you through some of the smaller mobs so you can go and enjoy taking on the big bosses. And I don't mind that. I like it. I like the game. I like the idea of running around in New York as well, web slinging and just exploring, doing side missions. There are other playable characters as well. You are going to be playing as Mary Jane, and apparently she doesn't suck. I don't know if there's going to be any others. I swear in a clip I saw Miles Morales. Anywho, Spider-Man, number 5 on my most anticipated games. Next up is Days Gone. This was scheduled for release this year, even though it only got kind of shown off last year, I do believe, at E3, correct me if I'm wrong. So it was always a bit ambitious by Sony. Again, it is a Sony exclusive, not come to Xbox or the PC as far as I know. But it has been delayed. It's coming out at some point, I think in February next year. So we've got a good few months. So it's probably the furthest away, except maybe something else I'm going to show you in a minute. But I'm liking the look at this. I'm not a big fan of games like The Last of Us or Uncharted. Any sort of third person, huge set piece building, and actually The Last of Us, I just didn't think the actual gameplay was all that. The story might have been amazing, but the gameplay was pretty bog standard for me. Running around stealthily taking out zombies or just trying to get through certain areas. I just didn't buy into it. I've not even completed it. I barely got through the first few levels. So maybe I need to revisit them games before Days Gone comes by. But I don't know, I feel like this is a bit different because it's open world and it looks like it's just more bombastic. It looks like it's got more going on, not a case of just being stealthy. You are going to have moments where you're chased by thousands of zombies. Well, maybe not thousands, but definitely hundreds. Maybe there is thousands, who knows. But using the environmental pieces, running away, setting traps, trying to make an escape, as well as the crafting. It seems like the crafting is really done on the fly. You can almost pick up anything and it just makes it. No like stupid lots of menus. Just bam, one button touch and you've put a silencer. You've made a silencer out of a gun or a pistol, or you're making Molotov cocktails. Okay, so zombies are pretty cliche. We've got zombies in pretty much every game going, but they just look so mad in this one. It really is like World War Z. Again, that was a film I didn't think I would like. I put off watching that for so long because I'm just not a big fan of zombies in that setting, especially scary zombie films because they actually scare me. But this just looks bonkers, and I really like that movie at the end of the day once I actually watched it. So I've got a feeling this is going to be really good. Now obviously this is like a very heavily scripted scene. You know, they've definitely worked on exactly where the points are. Maybe it won't be as mad or crazy as this. Maybe it'll be even crazier. But Days Gone is definitely on my top 5 most sought after games I want to play in the next 8 or 9 months. Hopefully we'll have a bit more interaction with other characters. I've seen from the other trailers there does seem to be a fairly decent story to it, as well as lots of cutscenes and lots of moments where you can be talking to people. Don't know about other characters, but certainly it looks pretty decent, and just the open world nature, running around, really surviving. It could be an absolute monster of a game. I really hope it is. When it comes out at some point, I do believe in February next year. I hate to say it, but of course Anthem is number 3 in my top 5 most anticipated games. It's undoubtedly going to have a huge amount of publicity, negative and positive, because of who's making it or publishing it. EA Games, of course, publishing it, and the makers are good makers, normally BioWare, but they've stumbled a little bit. BioWare, they've not really made a decent game for a few years now. Mass Effect 3 got panned. We all know about Mass Effect Andromeda, even though it was a slightly different team that made that one, but it still all fell under the BioWare and the EA stable. So they've been working on this though, Anthem, and it's meant to be the Destiny killer. It's meant to be their version of Activision's Destiny. It's going to have online connectivity. There's going to be all sorts of different worlds and places to explore, lots of creatures, lots of loot, although there is no more loot boxes. Apparently that's been scrapped after the latest controversies. For whatever reason, Destiny's fallen from grace for most people now. Destiny still was a great game originally. You know, once they got over a few issues and once they implemented a few changes, I really like Destiny. I know that might be an unpopular opinion. People said it was just wasn't what was promised and this and that, but I really enjoyed it. I remember playing Destiny quite a bit, and it was one of the first video games that kick-started my channel in terms of getting more than a few hundred views. So Destiny's always got a soft spot. Any game that can ape that, any game that can imitate that and maybe do even better, I'm totally down for. And I do love BioWare. They did make one of my most favourite games of all time, which is Mass Effect. So I'm totally down for giving Anthem a try, even if the makers of it have maybe fallen from grace. So Fallout 76 has probably gained the most negative reception from all these games that I've let you guys know I want to play. And I've gained probably the most negative reception I've had in a long time with my unpopular opinions. I basically wanted this game to be a survival game. I wanted it to be a PvP focused game. It turns out after the initial hype and some misinformation I think from Bethesda, where they weren't really giving gamers the full story because they wanted to see what kind of reaction they would get, I think they nerfed things, I think they dialed things back, and so we're going to not get what I thought it would be, but we're also not going to get what other people thought it would be. There was plenty of people that said it wasn't going to have multiplayer and it wasn't going to be this and that, and they were all wrong too. Ultimately, we've got to try it, and I am really hyped for trying it. Good, bad, even if it's not the game I thought it was going to be, it's still going to have really cool elements from what I can gather from the trailers and the information we have now got. Playing a game like this with your friends, running out there, getting materials, building up bases, working your way to getting nuclear missiles, exploring the vast different biomes, taking on all sorts of weird creatures and getting extra big special nice weapons. That sounds pretty fun to me. That is almost a Destiny style game, which I really enjoyed initially, and you know, playing a game like this with your friends I think is going to be key. If you're going to play this game on your own, being that troll that lives on the hill, good luck to you, but I think this game is definitely best enjoyed with friends. So I'm looking to play this with lots of rat bags. If you're hyped for this, I'll be playing it on the Xbox One initially, as that's where the beta goes first. If you don't know, Xbox is getting the beta first, then it comes to PC, and then obviously when it releases, we'll all be able to play it. It's going to be interesting. We're going to see what's going on with this game. Really will decide whether or not it's living up to the hype, negativity or the positivity, and I really do hope it sets a trend. I really do hope it sets something, a precedent, maybe a gaming benchmark for what they want it to be, not copying other games, not taking too much inspiration from other games. Of course, Bethesda are a huge, great company that makes some great games, but I think this is going to be a true test, and I'm glad to see them taking some risks. I just wish they'd taken maybe a few more risks with the game, but definitely Fallout 76 is going to be massive on my channel. I will be doing all sorts of guides, showing you guys gameplay, because it still fits in that open world sort of sandbox environment that I like playing. Okay, so no trailer for this one, because Rockstar are absolute buggers in copyrighting every single clip that gets put on showing Red Dead Redemption 2. But of course, it is my most anticipated game in the next 12 months, more or less. In fact, it may be one of my most anticipated games in the last couple of years. Red Dead Redemption was one of my favourite games of all time. It was one of the games that really opened my eyes up to how beautiful a game could be and look. You know, I spent hours just running around the wilderness, just hunting and just exploring and just enjoying the environment. And this looks even better now. It's on better hardware and it's a, you know, revamped technology. The story looks pretty decent. I am interested to see how John Marston plays out, how he's involved, even if he's not that big a part. I've got to say, I'm still not 100% sold on the lead guy at the moment. I don't think I necessarily have fallen for him just yet from what I've seen. He seems just a little bit too dour and maybe just a little bit too generic. I hope I'm proved wrong. But everything else, the story, apparently we're going to get some innovative multiplayer action as well. It's going to be huge. So that is my top 5 most anticipated games. There are some honourable mentions I want to go through though, what else I'm looking forward to. Hitman 2, I really enjoyed Absolution. I totally missed out on Season 1, but it's just became on the Game Pass now on Xbox, so I'm going to give it a try, and I really like to see what they're doing now they haven't got a big publisher telling them what to do. I think they could be doing some good stuff. Also, believe it or not, Spyro, the Ignited trilogy. I really like Spyro. It was a classic from when I was a kid. I want to give that one a go. There are some other bits and bobs as well that I really want to try. Horizon, or Forza Horizon I should say. Never been a big racing car fan, but just because it's set in the UK, I want to give that one a try. So there's loads of good stuff coming in the next few months that I may put on my channel. We'll see how it goes. But most of this stuff will definitely be on Twitch, where I'll be live streaming Monday to Friday around 9 PM, 10 PM every night. So make sure you follow me on Twitch. Make sure you followed me on YouTube. You've got notifications turned on to keep up to date with all the best gaming news with opinion. Make sure you are tuned in to Jade Plays Games. I'll see you rat bags later.